Yo, what up, friends? Legendary boxing promoter and owner of Country Box, Jimmy Adams. Country Box, the 3-year anniversary. Yes, the first event was February 7th, 2023. Jimmy, it's been a long ways coming so far, a good growth. Tell us about the first 3 years of Country Box.
Well, I know I'm going to heaven when I die because I've been through hell building Country Box. I know that.
Ah, there we go. And with that growth that you've had over the 3 years, how have you seen that progression contribute to the world of boxing?
Well, you know what? It's been hard. Being I mean, it's a hard road. To take and try to bring back things. That bring back the class to it, the real boxing and so forth. It's been hard, and it's been a one man, one team struggle. I haven't had the backing of the big boys and all that stuff. But just out of love and compassion for what I used to do as a manager and fighters, and the love the sport of the game, and so that's really what it's been. But I see 26 turning around for me. A lot of good things is coming is on the table right now, and then I was blessed enough to run into Rick Ross. We sort of got together and started putting some stuff together, and that's been a blessing in itself. And I have a good crew of people around me, but uh, I think when you try to grow into what we're doing, you learn how to who to weed out, who's real, who's not real, because the real people are people who can stand with you through the thin times just as good as can the thick.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be downs on anything you do in life, but the main thing is to be able to keep yourself together and find the ups on it, and stay focused. And if everybody can do it, we all will be a promoter. That's why like a lot of people say, me and Rick Ross need to have our head examined. But but we feel good though.
Yeah.
Rick asks me, I said, Rick, you okay? And I asked him, he tells me the same thing. Jimmy, you okay? So
Yeah.
we don't pay attention to what everybody else says.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Keep the noise blocked out. Make sure that you're always progressing. Obviously, the people that are going to be there till the end will be the ones supporting you. When you were building this and you decided uh, that Nashville was going to be the central hub for this to start that base before you start to expand more, and we started to talk about how Nashville lent that environment, that aesthetic for music meets boxing. So now that the houses are getting packed out, now the Country Box is really gaining that huge steam and that leverage that people all around the world are starting to talk about. What are the plans for 2026 going forward?
Well, I was saying before Rick came on, I did boxing in Nashville in 1997
Okay. Mm-hmm.
at the Music City Mix Factory. I broke the records. I put Tennessee on the map with boxing. When Tennessee at that time, there was two Adams that had come to Nashville. One was Bud Adams. He bought football,
Ah,
and
yes. Mm-hmm.
the other one was Jimmy Adams. He bought boxing.
There you
So,
go.
so in '97, I put Tennessee on the map as the number two most viewed boxing in the country. Tennessee beat out. Tennessee had no boxing. Tennessee beat out Las Vegas. Atlantic City at the time was doing a lot of fights. We beat Atlantic City. We beat New York. The only state that beat me was California, and that's because they're so big. Uh, so I had very successful. I did 47 shows in '97. I done Tuesday night fights every Tuesday night. I
Mm.
had a fight in the Mix Factory, and people like Mayor St. John, Alan McCall, Tony Tucker, Greg Page, um, Tim Austin, Frankie Randall. All of them people came through me in '97, and some of them I managed, coming in '97. So I made history, and a lot of people tried to top that, to compete with what I've done in '97, and they couldn't. Nobody's done what I've done in '97. And I was lucky when I did it back then. I was with Don King, which I still am today, but I was with Don King, and And so he was funneling fighters with me too to help build fighters, And so, fortunately, I left there, because in Oliver we fought for the title and stuff. And so I left there. So I come back out of retirement 3 years ago. I called Don. I said, Don, I'm gonna come out. I'm coming out of retirement. And he said, what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go back to boxing. He told me, he said, brother Jim, he said, don't come back in boxing and do like the fighters do. Can't fulfill what you started.
Mm.
And I said, well, I'm gonna come back as a promoter this time, Don. I've never been a promoter. And so anyway, he told me, he said, well, he said, you need to create an event, not just be another boxing. Because he said boxing is in a toilet so much right now with people, other promoters and stuff. And so I started thinking about it, and I said, okay, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Country music is it? I mean, how many millions of people come a year to Nashville to listen to country music, or be part of it, or just to come here and be a star themselves? So I thought, okay, let me build a platform to where I could take and build a platform to where it'd be like American Got Talent, and be like, be a situation where unknowns today's nobody could be tomorrow's somebody.
Mm.
So I created an opportunity for them to be seen, which I knew I had to build fighters, take fighters with 2-0 records or pro debut, and build them up to be something, inter champion, potential world champions. And so that's what I've done. So 3 years in the building, I do have a stable full of fighters now, and still looking. I'm always looking to sign fighters that can be top contenders or be world champs. That's what I look for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I built that platform because I found out in boxing, a lot of times you go out here and you do a big main event. The big promoters do a big main event, and when they do that, they take and they get a loss, then they go to the next top contender, which they're set for a year, 2 years, and nowhere to go to come back to rejuvenate their career. So I thought, okay, it'd be a good place too for them to come back here and fight, and be able to take and revise their career to get back to stay the level of being fighting for the title again. So it's worked. I've had a lot of people coming through me just like it was before. A lot of people coming through country box and all. My family runs it. My wife's my matchmaker. My daughter's a cut person.
Mm-hmm.
My son, he's training to be a fighter.
Yeah.
And then my little daughter, Addie, that's 9, she does the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's just a ritual of my family run the whole thing, which is good. Plus, I got some good people that've been with me for years, from Howard Ware to Christy Dunbrock to Julie Ware. I've got good people that's with me, that sticks with me. So, in growing, I got to add people, but it's been a lot of stumbling. A lot of people, it's like some people that don't understand. Some people done quit. As some of the stumbling blocks I've run into. But I'm a warrior, man. I don't quit. When I see something, I vision something, and I know it don't come for free. I know that I have to take ridicule over certain things. But I'm on a finished country box for the platform that when I'm dead and gone, country box still be very much alive. It'll be my legacy to the boxing world, to give these young fighters, young entertainers who don't have a way to go. It gives them a place to know that they're important, that they care for, and they have an opportunity to have the dream come true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And talking about that, because you did mention family, and it is a family organization, and that's amazing. I love how every part of the organization revolves around your family. Addie doing the Pledge of Allegiance is my favorite part of the night every night. When you're looking at the building of Country Box involving family, involving friends, and even people that you don't know, you talked about stumbling blocks that you had to endure, and some people stayed, some people didn't. When you're looking at that personal professional cost, that risk reward, what part of yourself have you had to really give up or change? Maybe not even give up. What's something maybe that you had to adopt that you didn't have before, in order to build Country Box to where it was differently than what you first imagined?
Well, I never thought it would cost me this much money.
Mm,
I mean, me personally, I've got probably over $4 million in it, not counting
wow.
other
Yeah.
situations. Um, and I don't have backers. And so, um, and every time I come close to getting a deal cut with somebody, then next thing you know, I'll become an employee. They take it over, and I work for them, and and to me, at 73 years old, it's my legacy.
Hmm.
It's one thing I can leave, good, bad, or indifferent. As long as it's a success and succeeds, I'm okay with it, because it's a legacy I leave. And also, it gives these fighters, it gives these kids in the street an opportunity to where the big promoters are not going to look at them. They
Hmm.
don't. They too busy making millions and millions of dollars.
Hmm.
Why they busy losing $4 million plus, So, but yet I'm building relationships, and it also it's allowed me to take and see, uh, who is real. And so much the time is so difficult. Back in the day, you have to understand. I went through trial and tribulations to be where I'm at today. And I had these fighters, but I didn't have good boys fighters. I mean, I did have Burt Cooper, Oliver McCall, Tony Tucker. I didn't have these guys that were sitting in church on Sunday back then. I had these guys that was out in the street somewhere, and the day before the fight, and you get ready to go weigh in, and your fighter's missing, and you have to go out there and find him,
Right.
and whatever party or whatever they're doing.
Hmm.
Uh, but but I loved every one of them. I mean, I can't say I didn't. I learned to adapt to them. I learned to adapt to try to figure out what makes them tick instead of always what makes Jimmy tick didn't matter. What makes them tick what matters. What makes them become a champion. How can I drive them and be better than what they are? And that's why I look at things today. How can I drive certain people to understand things in life goes wrong? But if they go wrong, what do you do? I mean, do you accept it and try to build and overcome it, or do you just try to hit a wall straight on? And that's one thing I see that there's so much politics, not just in boxing, but so much politics in our life today. No matter what, people want to dictate to you what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and they real fast to call you to everything except for dinner. You know,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
what you got to do, you got to take that at strides too, because that's all part of it. But at the end of the day, man, the end of the day, I wish everybody well. They always my door of Country Box and Jimmy Up Promotion is wide open even to my worst enemies if I have any bad enemies. Because what happened is I'm doing what I'm doing with love and passion, and I really care.
Hmm.
Oh, but listen, I didn't have to come out and do this. I didn't have to come out here and gamble with the future of myself, my kids' future, and all for something, a vision that really I don't profit from. I'm not fighting. I
Hmm.
already went through all that in my days. You know what I'm saying? But to build something that my family can be proud of, and boxers who come and associate with me, even people like yourself that come and associate, you can say you have a relationship with me, and that hey, you know who I am. So I like that because no matter who comes talk to you about me or whatever, you can talk to me directly. And that's one thing I learned. That's one thing that great Don King taught me. Yeah, he always taught me, if a fire gets started, don't add a log to it because the fire just keeps burning.
Hmm.
So, and then also one thing he always told me too, when you hit a wall, Jimmy, instead of hitting and it hurts your head, back up and walk around that wall. Don't try to bust through it again. And so when I hit stumbling blocks, I just try to find the answer and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important, especially as an entrepreneur, as an owner, as a promoter, as anybody in general who has a company, is you're always going to endure or experience difficult challenges along the way when you're building that business. And you need to be able to, as you said, as Don told you, stop butting your head against that wall and just walk on around it. The work smarter, not harder sort of thing there. So when you're talking about, and I mean, Don King obviously You've known him for a long time. And yes, I must say, by the way, let me go back really quick. You have been totally accessible, and I truly appreciate that since day one when I met you. You've been totally accessible to me, to always talk to me and always give me time, and our relationship has grown over the past couple of years, and I really appreciate that. Going back to Don King, obviously, probably in terms of people known all over the world, he's probably the most known boxing person. Probably other than maybe Muhammad Ali or something like that. He's up there with, if you say his name in Japan or India, they're gonna know who Don King is.
He's world known. Yeah.
Worldwide, right? What was the most? I know you just gave us some things that he had taught you along the way. What are some important things that he taught you in terms of not necessarily maybe a business owner, but in terms of the boxing game? What was the most golden advice that he ever gave you?
It's funny you say that because I was just asked that yesterday by somebody else.
Okay, great.
And I was asked that, and it had nothing to do with boxing. And one of the biggest things that sticks with me with Don King today, and like I said, me and Don, we have a great relationship still. We talk all the time. I mean, he is my friend, my kids' friend, my wife. I mean, my kids call him Grandpa. Don King, I can never say enough about him, at all. He's a great man, and he's a legend. But the biggest thing that sticks with me every time when situations hit me is look at somebody and smile and just say, "I'll kiss your ass so I can kick your ass."
That's a good one. I like that one. Oh man, that sounds like exactly something he'd say too.
Yeah, that's life. That's the way life is. I'll kiss your ass so I can kick your ass.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so as country box is growing, we know you said you've put a lot of obviously time, money, effort. I mean, I know I see you there at the Troubadour alone, just on fight weeks, there all day, every day, trying to handle things. What have you found in your time as a boxing promoter? You talked about fighters. What have you found promoting fighters in general, where there may be something you didn't realize that you were going to have to do for people, or maybe even when you look at the fighters, what is there something that the fans may not understand about promoting fighters, something that's really important to being able to get into the psyche, like you said, of the fighters, have that empathy for your fighters, even when they go through a tough, decision, maybe they have a draw or something like that. What have you found in that room?
Well, you know what, I hear people say all the time, about other promoters, other managers, or whatever, trainers, or whatever. They're always saying, well, when something goes wrong, that such and such won't stand by me. They didn't stand by me. They didn't do this. I've had some people come back and say, well, such and such said that you won't stand by a fighter. And when somebody says that to me, I can't help but laugh inside myself, because how can you say that to me?
Mm-hmm.
In 1994, I'm sorry, in 1997,
Mm-hmm.
when Omar Call fought Lennox Lewis II in Las Vegas.
Ooh, yes.
And Omar Call cried in front of the world. He broke down in front of the world.
Mm.
I am the one person who took and stuck with him.
Mm.
I never forget, after all that happened, because nobody knew what was going on. When all that happened, I never forget, George Foreman got up and come to me, because everybody was calling Oliver a lunatic. He's crazy. He's this. He's that. And George Foreman put his arms around me and embraced me. He said, "Hey," he said, "Your fighter needs you." And so what happened, I stood up with him. You got to understand, Oliver took, and he was not just suspended. He was not just suspended by Las Vegas. He was suspended. He was suspended by the world. Every country suspended him. Every state suspended him.
Wow.
They blackballed him and suspended him by the world. And I took and stood by him, and we come to Nashville, regrouped, went to all the doctors that they felt like he needed to see, psychiatrists and stuff, and he could come out for clear bill of health with that. And so after we did all of that, then I fought to get his license back. And now he can fight. Actually, he just fought in my car last year 3 times at 60 years old.
Yes, he did.
And so, so I stood with him, and he went back and done some big fights after me and him parted ways. Becoming I was his manager forever. Me and Oliver has great history together, and we still friends today. And actually, he wants to come back and fight 26 back in Nashville for his last fight. Get a last fight. So what I'm doing is consider doing that and find somebody caliber with him. From a Chris Bird to a Francois Bolter, or somebody who's still come back and fight himself. And I just got a call yesterday, actually, day for yesterday, about James Toney wants to fight.
Ooh.
So okay. James Toney's 57, so he wanted to know could he come here and fight 2 fights here in Country Box just to get back. And so, then it was mentioned to me, would you consider James Toney and Oliver McCall fighting? Well, James Toney 57, Oliver 60. I mean, I don't know. I consider that's really not up to me. It's up to commissions. If they pass all the tests, all the physicals and stuff like that, and the doctors all say that they in good shape enough to fight, then who am I to stop it? Who am I not to look at it? You know what I'm saying? Now, what happened? No matter who gets in the ring, it don't start with a promoter or manager. It's the final say. It's a commission. They got to be proved. So if they don't pass the test, I ain't in shape, or I go by the laws of what the commission says. You know what I'm saying? So, but fighters have a hard stress. I understand, because they got to box, they got to train, and sometimes when you're training, you don't make enough to support your family or support yourself. And then a promoter has to be careful not to sink so much money into the living expenses and all that you don't get it back in case they ain't got a good chin. I mean, it's a whole lot to look at. It's a lot to look at. They don't have the heart, because going here play boxing and boxing is 2 different things, totally 2 different things. And then you got some people that don't understand the escalator of a different level. But I've had 7 world champs. I've been there. My first fighter was Ernie Schaefer's. I was blessed. My first fighter was a comeback of Ernie Schaefer's. With Ernie Schaefer, I got to hang around with Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. I got to know all these guys. Joe Frazier cut my house for weekends and spend the weekends with me when I lived in Virginia. I was blessed. Then my trainers, I got to hang around with Joe Louis. I got to listen to the stories of Joe Louis, in Vegas, Johnny Taco that managed Sonny Liston. I got to hear the real stories out of people's mouth of real history. And so, I'm blessed with that. And today, when I look at things today, you got to understand, I started boxing. When I started, I was doing, with my fighters, we were doing 15 rounds. Now you can fight for a title for 8 rounds. And then you hear all this stuff, and I sit back and I go, it's not that I know more than anybody, because I don't. It's just that I do have compassion for the game. Like the Turkish, when you look at Turkish, sure, he's doing, but what it is, if George Jones had Turkish money, he could have done the same thing. Only Turkish doing is pulling tourists to Saudi Arabia and stuff, which I don't. You can't fault him for that. I don't fault him for anything. Dana White's the same thing. Listen, you got to respect Dana White with UFC, with MMA. You got to respect what he accomplished. But do I think Dana White's good for boxing? He's got the mouth for it. He got the mouth to be a white Don King the way he can run his mouth.
Right.
He knows how to talk. Is it about the dollar with him? He shouldn't be, because he's rich as all get out. But is it really about the fighter? That's really what I look at, because as today, for 3 years, the anniversary being tomorrow for Country Box, Jimmy Adams has not made $1. I've lost $4 million. 4 million, and I'm waiting for somebody to call me and say, "Hey, partner, let me come in."
That's
Because
exactly right. It's not lost, Jimmy. It ain't lost.
it
It's
ain't like
invested. It's invested into the
that.
into
Right.
something.
And that's what I look for. That's what I look for, is to find that right partner that wants to come in, because we got the blueprint how to make it happen. Because like I say, what I would do, I would go every Tuesday night. I'd bring back the Tuesday night fights with USA used to have.
Hmm.
Tuesday night, you got no competition. People watch boxing. You got no competition. And so I would bring back that, and then I'd build like every 6 weeks, 4 6 weeks. I'd build me a main event on Saturday night at a casino somewhere. I would put country box on the road. That's the whole thing to do it. The sponsors, I can get more eyeballs than these pay per views can get. The only difference is when they do a pay per view to get the eyeballs, it's for one night. I can do it for every week.
Hmm.
I can get the same amount of eyeballs every week.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean that's very important when it comes to the fans, because obviously, in order to even get the promotion off the ground, in order to get the promotion to where you want it to be, in order to get the promotion on the road, in order to get us to where your promotion is on pay-per-views monthly, and I already know you're going to get there, so I ain't worried about that. But in order to do that, you do have to have all of the things fall into place. All of the right things need to fall into place at the certain time. And I believe that these things always do, happen the right way. And all the boxers you've met and the networking you've done in the past is going to lead to that. But one thing important that you mentioned there is the fans.
Right.
And if there are no fans, there is no country box.
Exactly.
So when you look at the fans and how they experience country box, because country box is, and this is the first thing I tell anybody when I talk to them about country box, and I'll be talking to a lot of people trying to let them know in the future. But I tell them, country box is not just boxing; it is an experience.
It is.
It is an event. It is a mini like Super Bowl kind of thing. You get the music, you get the sport, you get the camaraderie. You have everybody in a nice place. Everybody gets along. We're all having a good time, enjoying the sport, enjoying. So when you think about that, and when you think about how fans experience country box, how do you feel they experience country box differently than a normal boxing of card, or even a different just a regular country concert? How does the merging of these worlds feel to fans that make it such a experience that people are going to want to see this worldwide?
Well, that's, you just said it. I mean, it's like I've had some very prominent people come to my show, and I had one lady that came to my show that's into the Kentucky Derby, and
Mm.
and so she come with her son-in-law and her daughter, and they wanted me to. So actually, they wanted me to meet her, and so they called me. I went up to the front and to meet her, and she looked at me and she told me, she said, "This is so disgusting. So I hate boxing. I hate violence like this."
Mm.
And I said, "Man," I said, "but what about violence in horse derby with the horses and stuff like that?" And so she said, "I'm just here because they wanted me to come here and watch this." So after the show was over with, they came and got me from the front door and said, "Somebody waiting wants to see you." So I went up the front door and it was the same lady. She looked at me and she said, "Every time I come to Nashville, I will come to this show." She said, "I had the most fun. The most fun." She said, "You have an event." She said, "Nobody's going to get to experience this until they come live and see an event." She said, "I was around all colors,
Mhm.
all race, all rich to poor." She said, "And everybody just embraced and loved each other and had fun." So everybody just had fun. It was a place where you can actually see what God created with all people. She said, "That's what you've created." And she's been to my show 3 times since that. When she
Mhm.
comes in town, she stuck to her word. When she comes in town, if I got a show that week, she comes. And so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud. And then, like you say, I got kids that come to my show. I got kids like my daughter 9. She mingles. Sometimes we have a mascot of a little Shetland pony. Sometimes we got a pony up front takes pictures. We've had a bull there. We've had comedians there, and we've done comedians. And what happened? Some people, and I've had a lot of the fighters. They come to me after the fight and they tell me, they says, "Hey, we always been into rap music, this and that." And said we never really heard country music. Man, I'm hooked. So even the change of the music, because no matter what anybody wants to say, all music is good, but country music is still the soul of America. Always has been and always will be. And so I mean, all other music is great. I'm not kicking no music, but somebody can go ahead and country music and have a hit today and perform for the next 50 years in that one song. Because the fan base is so strong, and I think that's why country music goes with race cars so good. But I'm very proud of it being called an event. But what it is, it's a 3-hour show, and people who come to watch the music side of it might not like boxing, but sometimes they come in, they get hooked on boxing because whoa, they look at it, and vice versa. So I've noticed people who don't really like boxing, that's when they go to the bar or the restroom. And if people don't like music, that's when they go to the bar or restaurant. It's really, that's why I have no intermission. I just go straight through my show, beginning to the end. Well, you've been there, you've seen how it operates. But people laugh. You don't see fights. You don't see. It's just come and have a good time. Come have a good time and enjoy the fights and the mingling of it all is really good. And it's really good too for my kids and my family to see the difference of other people, and they can see the difference of us. I mean, we all ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? But we embrace, man. I've created so many good friends like yourself, your longtime friends. I know if I didn't come back into boxing, I would have never knew you. You know what I'm saying? I've made a lot of good friends, and I'm very fortunate and blessed with that. And listen, country box, no matter what, is here to stay. Country box going nowhere but up. I'm gonna get that phone call. Somebody's gonna see what I got. Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, let me take a change let me really jump in there with this guy," because really I wanted it done right. I really want to build fighters, and then like I say, I want to build my promotion and to leave the legacy, but also bring back boxing. Bring back boxing where like I say, all these other big promoters can't say what I say right now today. I ain't made $1 in promotion. Everybody else makes money. I have not made $1. All I've done is, as you said, I'm gonna go your words. I like it better. All I've done is invest it.
Invest. And hey, look, it pays off though, because then you do have people that do become loyal to your brand, like that older lady that you were talking about, that now she comes back every time. And it is great. The addition of the karaoke bar next door is beautiful because people can just pop there and come back. And also you're investing not only in fighters who are going to be loyal to you, but musicians as well. Shout out to Clayton Q, my brother. I met him there and we've become friends, and he's actually tuning in right now. He says, "What's up, Jimmy?"
Clayton's my man. I love Clayton Q. Actually, I was just texting with him just now. But no, Clayton's my man. I love Clayton Q. I don't think anybody can go wrong with Clayton Q. And another, I gotta give a shout out to my other friend too, Kiss Moody. Kiss Moody is a close friend of mine. And boy, them two together in a concert. I looked forward to putting them together someday in a concert. But with Clayton Q, he's there. He's my man. He's my man.
Yeah, I mean, you got Clayton Q, that's my brother. We definitely need to get together soon and have a brewski. But you see him, people like him. You see other musicians, up and coming musicians. You even have legends there that work with you. You've got Al Bernstein is now your lead commentator. He is the legend when it comes to boxing commentating. You got Albert Hainsworth, a legendary Titan football player there, also on commentary. I mean, in the crowd every week, little David Wilkins is there, supporting country box. So you have a lot of good fans, people that keep coming back. And honestly, something that it kept coming to my mind when you were talking just now about it being an experience for that lady and for all the people that come back. And it hit me, and I want to clip this for us so we can put it on all the social media. But country box exists because it didn't have anything like this. Country box exists because boxing deserves a celebration and competition at the same time. That's the culture that it needs. A real show where it's built around music and boxing so every fan can feel like a winner.
Yeah, you're so right. And so that's what I really like. I don't have no dispute with other promoters and stuff. Because listen, anybody can come to me. Anybody can come to Country Box and fight. Bring your fighters, and you don't have to be. They don't have to be signed with me. I like working with everybody. As my Don King says, my best friend is working together works, and it does. And so that's why I do try to. But listen, one thing I gotta say, man, I am a human being. I will probably make a lot more mistakes in life. Don't mean to make mistakes to hurt nobody.
Mhm.
I mean to drive forward only to be able to help everybody. And I've built this train. If they get on it or not, it's not because they can't get on it. It's just because they don't want to get on it and can find a reason why not to, and that's okay too. I just wish them well. But the
Mhm.
thing about it is, people like yourself, people like Clayton Q, Leon Everett, he's another one that shows up. He never misses a fight.
Mhm.
Leon Everett and I've been together over 40 years, and he's still a brother today to me. Never misses a fight. Comes in, jumps in with me, and actually he did my first show. Leon Everett did my first show.
Mhm.
And so I do have some people that, man, that's warriors right there with me, and boy, I love them to death.
Yeah. Hey. I hear it. I see them every time. I know they all love you, and we all love and respect you. We appreciate everything you're doing here in Nashville for the community and for boxing in general. You and we were very close, and we talked about this before. We're going to continue doing this. Hopefully, maybe we'll just do like a before the next every country box will come on here and talk a little bit about the next show and dive more into just you and the boxing promotion. We'll have other guests on, things like that, so we can continually promote country box going forward, because I know personally that 2026 is going to be a huge year in the evolution of country box.
I'm gonna tell you, 2026 is it. I mean, it's gonna. I'm gonna get that call because of you. Somebody's gonna see, hey, man, this guy, man, let me jump in with him.
Mhm.
And so but whether they do or don't, it's still going up.
Mhm.
I'm not a quitter. So no matter what trial and tribulation in life I go through to get it all the way, it's going to happen. It needs to happen for these fighters. It needs to happen for these entertainers to don't get that first chance for anything. And a lot of
Mhm.
people say, well, sometimes second change never comes. I don't worry about the second change. The first one, all you need if you
Mhm.
do it right. You know what I'm saying? And so is I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and the love you support us, and people who come support us. Man, God bless them, and I love them all.
Make sure you check out Country Box. Countrybox247.com is the website. That's where you can get tickets to the next show, which will be March 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd. And again, we are honoring and celebrating Country Box today in its third anniversary, coming up tomorrow of the first show ever. We're excited to have Jimmy, and Dr. Freeway Ricky Ross was here with us earlier. You can also find Country Box at Country Box on YouTube and at countrybox_official on Instagram.
Subscribe on YouTube at Ball and Buds for sports and entertainment live streams and videos. Boom.